Hi, I'm Kim. I am not only a diabetes educator, but I have had type 1 diabetes for 51 years. Today, I'm going to be showing you how I change my cartridge in my Tandem X2 insulin pump. Let's take a look at what we need today. First of all, we've got our pump. That's what we're going to be replacing the cartridge in. We have our key to open it up. We have the cartridge, tubing, our fill syringe and fill needle, and insulin. It doesn't matter where the insulin comes from, whether it's a vial, a pen, or a pen fill. Insulin is insulin, and it's okay to use. Here's what we're going to do first. We're going to take our pump, and the first thing we need to do is take out the old cartridge. So we use our key provided by Tandem, and remember, if you lose this thing, it's okay. What works for this? Pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters, washers, butter knives. Car keys are too thick, and credit cards are too thin. Sometimes people will use the syringe to take it out, but we need to remove the old cartridge. Okay, so remember, we want to take this out by poking it in and popping it out. Once you get the cartridge out, be sure and throw away your diabetes bling. Nobody wants to see this everywhere. Now, the next thing we're going to do is grab our fill needle and the syringe. Put them together by twisting. Simple. Then we want to grab our insulin source. If you're using a vial, remember that you need to put air into the vial equal to the amount of insulin you're going to take out so that you don't create a vacuum. Push in my air, turn it over, and I begin to take out the insulin. The way I like to do this is, just like I'm showing you here, some people do it differently. This is my method. Remember that everybody does all of these things a little bit differently. As long as we do them in the right sequence, and as long as we do them with the same finished product, that's what matters. Here is our cartridge. Now, for me, I need to put my glasses back on. I need to put my glasses on so that I can see this. In the top of the cartridge is a little white dot, and that white dot is where we're going to put the needle. When we put this in there, underneath that white dot is kind of a funnel shape. So sometimes you may put the needle in and it goes all the way in. Sometimes it may only go a little bit of the way in. Either way, it's okay. We put that in just like so. Now, this is where we're going to burp the cartridge. Burping the cartridge is a process of removing air that might have been put in there during the manufacturing process. To do that, we're just going to pull up on this syringe, and then we're going to click our syringe in order to get the air bubbles to rise to the very top. From here, I'm just going to push it in just like this, and when I get to where the air bubbles are down to the bottom, that's when I'm going to stop. Up next, we're going to attach our tubing to our cartridge. Remember, it doesn't matter which infusion set we're using, they all are going to have the same ends. When we connect them, we insert slightly and then twist. I know it looks like it's not in there all the way, but it is. You just want to make sure that it's nice and snug. Now, our tubing is connected to our cartridge. Then we take the cartridge and we're going to insert it into our pump. Never feel like you have to take this case off. The case can always stay on while you're doing this whole entire process. There's no reason to take the case off. We insert it into the end, and we want to be sure to snap it into place. Now that our cartridge is inserted, we have to tell the pump what we're going to do. Press and release the top button, and here we have our home screen. 1, 2, 3. And now options, load, change cartridge. Make sure that we're disconnected. Be sure and this will turn everything off. Deliveries are all stopped. And then make sure that we're disconnected. Yes, we are disconnected. Now it's going to prepare for the cartridge. And once we remove the old one and put the new one in, then we're going to hit this little unlock button in the corner. And that's telling us that, okay, the cartridge, is it installed? Yes, it is installed. This little test that it does is going to take anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds to run. And it's going to just jump up and make sure that it can feel and sense that cartridge. Remember, the cartridge needs at least 85 units in it in order to register inside the pump. Very good. Next thing, make sure that it's disconnected. Again, we are disconnected from the end. And we're going to say, yes, we are disconnected. And then we're going to fill the tubing. Okay, once we've gotten to this point, now it says fill tubing, and we're going to press start. When we fill tubing, very often people will lay their pump down and just let it run, and that's fine. However, as a person with diabetes who's been dealing with this for a long time, the easiest way that I think to do this is to hold your tubing by right above this hub right here, and we're going to flick on the little hub to get out any remaining air bubbles. I don't know if you can see these air bubbles right here, but I'm collecting air bubbles from here, and sometimes I might tap it on the counter a little bit, and that'll help to loosen any air bubbles. And remember, air bubbles themselves are not going to hurt you. If you accidentally injected them, it's not going to hurt you, but air bubbles take up space, and that means you're not getting all the insulin. So once we get the air bubbles past this little hub, then we can lay the pump down, because now all of our air bubbles are up here. From here, we just watch the tubing so that we can see all the air bubbles run out. And again, air bubbles themselves will not hurt you, but they do take up space and means if you're filled with air bubbles, you're not getting insulin. Okay, so we're almost have all of our air bubbles run out. There we go. Okay, once you see the air bubbles run out, be sure and hit the stop button. There's no reason to let it run continually. Make sure and hit that stop button. And that's it. Now you are ready to insert your infusion set, fill your cannula, and resume insulin delivery. If you feel like you're having a hard time with this process, remember to go back and look into your pump manual or reach out to your pump trainer or your diabetes healthcare professional. Have a great day, and I'll see you next video.